4-1, leading the NFC East. If I had told you this was about to happen after the loss at Tampa to start the season, you would have said what?
I would have said, I'm surprised you're still doing the same things you're doing in college. By that I mean,
I know what you mean, and I know what you mean by that. But I'm not going to answer that.
Yeah, and I think your listeners know exactly what I'm talking about.
Right.
But I'd like to correct you. It's not what the Commanders have to deal with in Henry. It's what the Ravens have to deal with Jayden Daniels.
Yep.
Because it is, look, I have covered this team for 3 decades, and I don't. With Robert Griffin III, I won't call him by his stupid nickname. He was a track star in a football uniform. Pretty good quarterback,
right,
but not willing to do certain things. This dude, on the other hand, we've talked about it before, he's still in the building. He's still the first in the building. He's still the last to leave, which is it's one of those, trite phrases, but it's still true. He's still doing it so that he can be on top of things. He threw the pick at the 1 yard line yesterday. We thought, oh, here we go. Here comes the rookie. And then he just followed up with just, an absolute gem of a game, which included, by the way, if anybody saw the game yesterday, a 41-yard strike to De'Ami Brown. Jayden had run out of bounds on the play before and literally saw something in the defense and what they were doing. And as he came back from the sideline, ran by Cliff Kingsbury and said, call it. Call the certain play. Call it. We need to call that play. They got in the huddle. They called the play. He throws an absolute dime to De'Ami Brown. So this guy is cerebrally, I can't say the word, cerebrally, there it is, better than a lot of guys, rookie and veterans. And no, I could not have predicted it one bit after the Tampa Bay game, but I didn't also predict that this defense would start to, the last 2 games, they played some really stellar defense, 7 sacks yesterday, yes, against the Browns team, and a Deshaun Watson who's absolutely given up on his squad. But it's still, they executed. And I'm just, I'm not a fan of the franchise when I was growing up, but I root for the guys that I cover individually. I want them to do well. But I got to tell you, sitting in the press box, you hear sounds out of the media that you haven't heard in a while. When Jayden makes a throw, you're just like, oh, what the heck was that? That kind of stuff's happening right now. It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and he seems to have the personality that captivates Washington fans. I related the story last week. Forget how it came up, but you and I went to the University of Maryland at the same time, and I remember this is back before we had 76 channels, and how every over-the-air network, including what was then called, I believe, Home Team Sports, every day had at least one show dedicated to the football team. At least one. There were 15 shows on during the week. Playbook, Showdown, whatever it was. We had a different name. Sideline.
All of it. Yeah.
For all of it. Shouts to Tom Davis, our old friend and colleague from radio days. So
Tom Davis.
Exactly. So this group has we can minimize it was just Cleveland. Cleveland is whether Deshaun Watson has given up or the team or he's just bad. He's been bad since he's played for Cleveland, and they've had better teams around him. But Arizona, they're not good. Yeah, but I thought the Arizona game, coming off the win over Cincinnati, I thought the Arizona game was the trap game. I thought that's where we'll find out if Washington is legit or not, and they appear to be legit.
It's, I thought the same thing. I thought, okay, short work week, although it wasn't really short. I just like the team, I went straight from Cincinnati to Arizona, and it felt like I'd been there 2 weeks because of the heat and everything else. Yeah. It was 114 degrees the day before the game.
Dry heat, though, Chick.
And some idiot played golf in it. I'm not sure who it was. So, but I thought the same thing, and I sit back and I watch the squad, and I go, okay, well, let's see what they got. There hasn't, as I told the guys last night in my questioning, there's never been they haven't flinched. They just haven't flinched, right? And historically, this franchise over the last 2 decades has played down to competition. So you thought, okay, well, Cleveland's going to come in here and we'll see what's going on. And I thought, okay, the first interception, like, oh, and like I said, it's like, uh-oh. But then it was just like, that was just a blip on the radar screen. I mean, these dudes it's this ridiculous stat. It's now 3 rushing touchdowns in 3 straight games. Never been done in this franchise's history. A history which includes a guy named John Riggins, Ernest Biner, Larry Brown, all these guys. It's just I'm stunned that that's a thing. And so they're using everybody. Terry McLaurin's now been let free after this is the 9th quarterback he's caught a touchdown from, but you can see the glee in his face. And I mean, the first pass, the 66-yarder, was a broken play that, as soon as it breaks, Terry's going deep, and this guy's dropping balls in the bucket. It's like, come on, man. It's a lot of fun to cover. They are a different squad, and to a man, they all credit in that locker room, even yesterday, Dan Quinn, and said the culture that he has brought to this team is something they have not been a part of with this franchise, and a lot of guys who came from other franchises said, never seen this before, haven't been a part of this. Terry McLaurin yesterday, almost his initial comments were not about him and his another 100-yard performance. It was about, I'm so happy for De'Ami Brown because I know his journey. I know his journey and what he's been through, and to be able to catch that touchdown pass. And then I asked De'Ami about it, and he's talking about Terry. Like, that's my guy. That's the guy that I've looked up to, and to have him talk about me that way and other guys. So it's we're 5 games in. I get it, but you're atop the NFC East, and if you're, I don't know what time you start talking about playoffs, but let's bring Jim Moore in real quick and start talking about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, this week at Baltimore is going to be like one of those, midterm exam. It's not really the middle of the term yet, but it's going to be one of those litmus tests. And then, I mean, no coach will ever look past what they've got right in front of him, but Carolina and Chicago both in Washington, a trip up to New Jersey to play the Giants, who, frankly, I don't know what to make of them. I don't think they're good, but they just went to Seattle and won. Pittsburgh has a great defense, but they don't have much else. Their offense is anemic, and that was probably a game last night they should have won, even though Dallas is good. I don't think Dallas is great, but that's a game Pittsburgh probably should have won. But the schedule is certainly friendly to them.
It's friendly, but Dan Quinn doesn't play that way.
Right.
It is the game at hand, and so they will get your popcorn ready for Lamar Jackson and Jayden Daniels on Sunday.
Wow.
What I love is, I work for WUSA 9, which is a CBS affiliate. NBC tried to take that game away, and CBS said, I don't think so. We're going to go ahead and keep that at 1:00 on Sunday because we think the ratings are going to be pretty big. But here's the thing. So DeQuell Jackson, former linebacker at University of Maryland, played in the league for a long time. I saw him last week in Arizona. I was like, what are you doing here? He goes, I'm pre-scouting for the Browns. I said, okay. So I saw him in the press box at halftime. I said, apparently your pre-scouting report didn't really help out. And he said, I told them exactly what this guy was, Jayden Daniels, when the conversation keeps going back to him. And he said, number 6, Jeremiah is our best player. Out of 53, he's our best player. And he said Jayden made him look like a high schooler on a couple plays. So you can bring whatever defense you want to bring. Jayden already knows where he's supposed to go. And then if pressure says I can't go there, then he's going to buy himself some time and either make the play or then just glide. A 4th and 3 yesterday, he glided. Mm-hmm. Is that a word? Glided or glid?
Glud.
For 34 yards, like it was nothing. So they're in really good shape, barring any major injuries. They're in really good shape because the defense is starting to get their wits about them.
You told me before the season started that it was going to be a good year for Brian Robinson. Again, everybody stays healthy. Austin Eckler got back in the lineup. We weren't sure if he was going to be out for an extended period. They've got depth. They've got veteran presence. It's all good. Cliff Kingsbury, without the pressure maybe of being the head coach, is certainly.
And he acknowledges that.
Yeah, all of that is cool. I am looking forward to this Sunday. I mean, it's one of those games that I think is going to be fun to watch. We could have a lot of points. I mean, to be perfectly honest, they could, because Baltimore looks like that. Stopping them is not ever going to be easy. Lamar is one of basically one of one.
That's the issue for this Commanders defense is, Watson was a statue back there primarily. Lamar is not, and a lot of guys. I mean, Baker Mayfield did it to him. Escapability, as they say, and that's what Lamar has. That's gonna be an issue for that D line for sure. I'd love to see how Joe Witt Jr. comes up with a plan. But no, it is. It's going to be high entertaining football. I can't wait I like to watch Lamar in person. I'll have a pregame show. I'll be on the field and see him in person. And I've got a chance to see Jayden obviously throughout camp and then watch him. And they do know each other very well, and two former Heisman Trophy winners, so they communicate. So it's setting up to be a really cool game. I hope it turns out to be that way. And as much as I like defense, I don't. I don't want that. I don't want it to be a defensive battle. I want to see this thing just high flying and let's go.
I'm with you. Make it a track meet at Mr. Chick Sports on Twitter. WUSA TV9 in Washington. It says here you were a former blue check, but I see a blue check there. So you must be for real.
I am for real.
I know you are.
I am absolutely for real. Come on, man. You know this.
Of course
you know this.
You're my friend. Yeah. I appreciate your time, man.
Okay, dog.
Enjoy Balmer. I
will enjoy it. I'm happy it's a 1:00 game, not an 8:00 game. I get a little nervous in Baltimore at nighttime.
Oh man, my old stomping grounds, man. It's cool. You're in good shape down by the harbor.
That's why I'm nervous, because people like you live down there.
Oh well,
scary.
It happens. All right, man. Peace.
All right, Preet.
You got it.